KOGANE. Kogane are small Shikigami, roughly the size of a human hand. They have cylindrical bodies, a skull-shaped head, and wings. Kogane differs from another on the basis of their black tails and other distinctive features, such as their eye shapes and facial hair. They are considered to be special-grade cursed tools that are created by Kenjaku and given to players who have been selected to participate in the culling game. Their primary purpose is to guide the players by clearly explaining the rules, updating players on their points, and confirming new participants when they step into a barrier colony. Kogane can also be used to communicate with the Game Master about adding new rules to the culling games. Rabbit Escape. Originating from the 10 Shadows technique, Rabbit Escape manifests as a relentless horde of rabbits, exploding from Megumi's shadow to swarm the battlefield. These Shikigami, while superficially resembling ordinary rabbits, are far from ordinary. What makes Rabbit Escape special is the fact that no matter how many of these rabbits you kill, more and more will continue to reappear and keep multiplying in numbers unless you take out the one rabbit with the specific symbol, as destroying that one means getting rid of all of them. Rabbit Escape is not an offensive technique, nor can it inflict critical damage on its opponent, but its main job is to distract the enemy, which it does elegantly. Another major advantage of the Rabbit Escape lies in the fact that it can also be used as a combo move with other Shikigami. Megumi and Sukuna pulled off the combo by using Rabbit Escape to distract their opponents and then dropping max elephants on them afterwards. Toad, GAMA. Another manifestation of the 10 Shadows technique, Toad, also known as GAMA, is a human-sized frog with marks around its eyes and a symbol on its stomach that resembles the Mirror of the Deep, one of the 10 sacred treasures. GAMA's rough, warty skin provides natural armor, while its powerful hind legs allow for impressive leaps and swift movement. This Shikigami is perfect for on-ground support for its summoner, like the time Megumi used the Toad's tongue to pull Nobara out of trouble, and even carried her to safety in its mouth in episode 4 of the anime. While not mainly being an offensive Shikigami, in battle, Toad is useful for entangling enemies and throwing them against something with great force, like it did to Jiro Awasaka by wrapping him up with its tongue and slamming him very hard against the side of a walkway. This Shikigami is also capable of fusing with Nue, another Shikigami we shall be discussing in detail, to create the Well's Unknown Abyss. It's essentially a temporary fusion that results in flying toads. These winged toads assist Megumi in battle by flying with increased mobility, using their tongues to restrict the opponent's movements, and even catching projectiles. They're weaker than Nue and Toad, but they can be continuously summoned as long as Nue and Toad are alive. The Divine Dogs. The Divine Dogs are Shikigami summoned by Megumi Fushiguro through his 10 Shadows technique. They're the first Shikigami a user receives when they inherit the 10 Shadows. The Divine Dogs are the perfect offensive tool to kill curses, and are also very useful for tracking scents since they have an amazing sense of smell. There are 2 of them. A white one, which specializes in tracking and trapping cursed spirits by sniffing them out and even remembering the scent of doors, and a black one, which is more versatile with offensive capabilities, including the ability to bite and tear through opponents. They are the only Shikigami in the 10 Shadows technique that the user inherits. All the other Shikigami must be tamed in ritualistic battles before the user can utilize them for themselves. When Megumi's white divine dog was killed, that became quite a nuisance because once a Shikigami is destroyed, it cannot be summoned again. Though that can also be turned into an advantage, as the powers of a destroyed Shikigami can be transferred to another one. That's also how the Divine Dog Totality comes into existence. The Divine Dog Totality, Gyokoken-kan, is a massive wolf-like creature that is the combined and evolved form of Megumi's 2 divine dogs after the white dog was killed and its powers were transferred to the black dog. We saw the true potential of the totality in Chapter 47, when Megumi summoned it to fight against one of the strongest special-grade curses, Hanami. It was able to inflict damage on Hanami, something even Kamo with his blood manipulation and Inumaki with his cursed speech couldn't achieve. It's also able to hide in the shadows of its enemies, adding a stealth factor to its capabilities as well. During the culling games, Megumi was able to defeat Reggie's star, as it was able to bite off a huge chunk of Reggie's flesh, Nue. Nue is a huge owl-like creature with a small skull mask, and is generally one of the most commonly used Shikigami from the 10 Shadows technique. It has orange feathers, large wings, and a set of human-like teeth. Nue's wide range of versatile abilities makes it a very useful Shikigami to have, not just for combat, but also for assisting its user in other ways. Its ability to fly and scout areas not only helps in foreseeing any dangers ahead, but also proves to be a very effective mode of transportation for its user. Nue is also able to paralyze anyone that's hit by the purple sparks produced by its wings, rendering them immobile and hence creating a huge tactical advantage. As useful as Megumi's version of Nue is, Sukuna's version is a straight-up beast. Sukuna's version of Nue was so massive that the huge building it stood on seemed like Lego blocks. Sukuna's version wasn't only larger in size but also much more powerful. As soon as he summoned Nue, several streams of electricity rained down in Tokyo, making it possible to hit multiple targets simultaneously, something the original Nue could never do. Also, after his fight with Yuji and Maki, Sukuna used Nue to fly away from the area, carrying Urami with him. Carrying two people at the same time was only possible for Sukuna's version of Nue, due to its gigantic size. Orochi. The Orochi, Great Serpent Shikigami, is a colossal serpent that can be quickly summoned into action with the 10 Shadows technique by the user, forming a snake-like shape with their fingers. The best utility this Shikigami provides to its user is its ability to sneak up on your enemies and attack them. Orochi has proven itself as an invaluable asset in combat not once but twice. Once by biting the giant curse grabbing Nobara, and the other time by wrapping itself around Sukuna himself and temporarily creating an opening for Nue to strike him multiple times. Though Orochi is ripped to pieces by Sukuna, restraining the king of curses himself even for a short while is no joke. When Sukuna seizes control of Megumi's body, he combines Orochi with Nue, Tiger Funeral, and Round Deer to create merged beast Agito. Round Deer. Round Deer is another towering deer Shikigami that can be summoned by the 10 Shadows technique. This Shikigami can output positive energy from reverse curse technique, which allows it to heal its user, as well as counteract the cursed energy of their opponent at the same time. Sukuna's version of Round Deer is muscular and has 4 eyes similar to his own. It was first summoned by Sukuna after he took control of Megumi's body during his fight with Yorozu. Sukuna manifested Round Deer to counter an attack made of liquid metal constructed by Yorozu's innate technique. Piercing Ox. Piercing Ox is one of the offensive Shikigamis from Megumi's 10 Shadows technique. It is a large, robust ox with short curved horns and white fur around its mouth. It attacks its enemies by ramming into its target head first. It can only charge in a straight line, but the longer the charge, the more powerful its attack is. Piercing Ox was summoned by Sukuna during his fight with Yorozu. It was able to thrust into her with immense speed and force multiple times. It was ultimately able to crack the ironclad insect armor over her eye. Max Elephant. Max Elephant is one of the 10 Shadows technique Shikigami summoned by Megumi. It is Megumi's largest and arguably one of the strongest Shikigami. It's characterized by its immense size and the ability to unleash a massive volume of water from its trunk. This water blast has enough force to break through walls and potentially overwhelm opponents. Max Elephant has proven to be a versatile Shikigami, useful in both offensive and defensive situations. Its water blast is a powerful offensive tool, while its sheer size and weight can be used to physically restrain opponents or block attacks. However, summoning Max Elephant consumes a very large amount of cursed energy. That's why Megumi typically uses it alone and devises different strategies to maximize its effectiveness. Sukuna also uses Max Elephant after taking control over Megumi's body in order to break Yorozu's insect armor. He uses Rabbit Escape to distract her, and then proceeds to drop Max Elephant right on top of her. Garuda. Yuki Tsumuko's Garuda is a long, uniquely shaped Shikigami. It has a serpent-like body with sections that are covered with bone-like columns. Yuki's Star Rage is a curse technique that enables its target to gain virtual mass, but the catch is that she can only use her curse technique on herself or her Shikigami. Star Rage allows Garuda to transform into a cursed tool to aid Yuki in combat. Another interesting fact about Garuda is the fact that it can act and fight independently, regardless if Star Rage is activated or not. We see the true extent of Garuda's capabilities in Chapter 205, when a fight breaks out between Kenjaku and Yuki. Kenjaku summons an Asian divine curse called Ganesha. Yuki doesn't hesitate to charge towards the massive curse as she turns Garuda into a ball of mass and delivers a high-powered kick towards the curse. With one single blow, Garuda was easily able to destroy Ganesha. JUDGEMAN. JUDGEMAN is a special case Shikigami that is connected to Higomi Higuruma's domain expansion known as Deadly Sentencing. JUDGEMAN has an appearance that mirrors the symbols of justice. It has eyes completely shut with stitches. You can also notice it holding scales in each of its arms. JUDGEMAN functions as the judge for the trial-based curse technique. It begins the trial by stating the charges against the accused and submitting evidence to the prosecution for consideration. Then, as the trial proceeds, it listens to the arguments presented by both the prosecution and the defense. Depending on the statements presented, judgment hands out a lawful verdict and decides any subsequent punishments if the defendant is found guilty. What makes Judgment a unique Shikigami is the fact that it has no offensive powers of its own, but it can still let its user kill its target with a single blow using the executioner's sword in case of a guilty verdict ending up in the death penalty. Merged Beast AGITO. Another manifestation of the 10 Shadows technique, Merged Beast AGITO, is the combination of Nue, Orochi, Tiger Funeral, and Round Deer. Merged Beast AGITO is a towering and muscular humanoid Shikigami with a feathered mane, a mask over its face that resembles Nue's feathered arms that end in claws, black antlers that poke out from its head, a feminine torso with black stripes, tiger-like feet, and a tail that ends in a snake's head. During his fight with Satoru Gojo, Sukuna uses AGITO and MAHORAGA coupled with himself to attack Gojo 3-on-1. AGITO primarily fought together with MAHORAGA by following up on every attack, attempting to restrain or stun Gojo. AGITO is a very troublesome Shikigami to fight because of its insane healing capabilities. For example, when Gojo hit it with a black flash, it quickly healed. And even when Gojo grabbed it by its tail and threw it away with full force to rip it off, it easily regenerated its tail. What makes it even more tiresome to deal with is the fact that it doesn't just heal itself, but also Sukuna as well. Gojo ultimately overpowers and destroys AGITO by using a combination of Blue and Maximum, MAHORAGA. Inarguably the strongest Shikigami in the 10 Shadows technique, it can only be summoned with the incantation, "With this treasure, I summon." The Shikigami itself is a towering, muscular humanoid figure with 4 wings coming out of its eyes and a tail extending from the back of its head. MAHORAGA has the strength to shatter concrete or to launch someone through multiple buildings with a single blow. It also wields the Sword of Extermination, a blade attached to its forearm that is enveloped in positive energy, making it especially effective against cursed spirits. The Divine General's most notable power is the adaptation to any and all phenomena, made visible through the turning of its wheel. If it is hit by a particular attack, the wheel turns once the attack is analyzed, and MAHORAGA adapts. MAHORAGA is the most uncontrollable Shikigami in the history of the 10 Shadows technique. It has never been tamed or commanded like other Shikigami in the history of the entire Zenin clan. This feat was only ever achieved by Sukuna after defeating MAHORAGA.